Well, Trump didn't just win one argument. He may have won all three at the same damn time. And it's beautiful to see because there's a lot of people that have been doubting this guy. Just a little seed of doubt. And it seems like there's a lot of people that like to sow doubt. They're doubt farmers, they're doom pillars. You know exactly who I'm talking about without even saying their names. But right now we've got Keir Starmer collapsing under the weight of a broken Britain, the country that will arrest you for memes. They will literally kick in your door if you post something offensive on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, Blue Sky, whatever the hell program that they're using. This is how far that country has fallen. I mean, the UK, Britain, Great Britain used to control everything. For them to have went from Margaret Thatcher, two of the greatest leaders probably in that hemisphere, Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher. Tell me another British leader as good or even in the same conversation as those two. I don't think you can even name a leader from a European country that could carry Maggie Thatcher's purse or, I don't know, Winston Churchill's cigar. I just don't think you could. I mean, the guy has a cigar named after him, the big, 8.5-inch long 50 ring gauge. I know a little bit about cigars. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. The next one, Iran is bending. They have, well, some people are going to say they're broken, right? Some people are going to say they're broken. Some people are going to say they're bending, they're bent. But this is after 47 years. I believe I believe Maggie Thatcher was the prime minister in 79. Somebody in the chat will correct me when I'm wrong, when Iran took all the hostages under Jimmy Carter. I believe I'm right there. But Iran is bending under threats. They've got a lot of, they puff up their chests a lot, bluster, and all the anti-American pressure, which we're getting a lot of anti-American pressure here at home. And then Fauci, the man they told us was untouchable, suddenly back in the spotlight. So I don't know about you. But I'm going to tell you right now, the doomsayers, the doom pillars, the doubt spreaders, that's getting old. I think that game has run its course. So the question tonight, right now, is not just whether Trump was right. The question is, how many times did the people in power and also the media tell Americans they were wrong or that Trump was wrong, only for reality to prove the opposite? Because that's what this story is all about. Not one man, not one headline, not one political party. It's about a ruling class that basically mocked all of you, right? They ignored evidence. They protected their own people. And then they acted shocked when the consequences finally showed up. Tonight, we're going to connect all three of those stories, Starmer, Iran, and Fauci, and why they all point to the same bigger pattern. The experts failed. You know it as well as I do. I'm no expert. I get stuff wrong all the time. There's people in the chat that just love for me to pronounce tomato instead of tomato, potato instead of potato, right? People all the time. They love it. They live for it. It's so funny to watch too. I just reply in the comments, man, thanks for the criticism. I really love it. I love the criticism. The experts failed, but the experts have someone that I don't, have someone that you don't to cover for them. It's called the news media. It's called CNN. It's called MSDNC. It's called what's some of the other ones? Hell, I even think Newsmax, One America News, Fox News, CBS, the New York Slimes, the Washington Compost. They all cover for them. Guess what? Now you know. Now you know who's doing the covering because it's so easy to see. Once you see it, you can't look away. How many news outlets are running with the DNI story from Tulsi Gabbard? One outlet, 47, I'm going to say 54 minutes. Fox News, only one that had the guts to do it. I got to tip my hat to Fox News. At least they tried. I don't know how well they tried, but do me a favor, follow me down on X at Navy Vet. There's the YouTube channel right there. And you're all watching there. There's other channels or we're streaming on other platforms. We're streaming on Patreon, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, X, Rumble. The only thing I don't have is that site that shows your feet. I don't have that one yet. Do me a favor. I would love to know where everybody is watching from. If you're watching on your phone, if you're watching on your TV, city and state, let me know what the gas prices are looking at right now. Because I saw today gas prices are down $74 a barrel. If I say 73, somebody will be like, oh, it's 74. I'm going to say $74 a barrel is what gas is at right now. It's pretty entertaining to watch all of the people freaking out. So let's start with a little bit of the UK. And I might have one of the ladies, maybe both, from Promethean coming onto the channel here in a couple of days. I've been in talks with them, Susan Kokinda and Barbara. So we're going to try to get them on the channel. I think it's very interesting. We align on a lot of things. And I lived in the UK, so I remember some of that. The drama living over there was, let's just say it was entertaining to say the least. And looking back, it's definitely, you notice things there. But I'm seeing a lot of gas prices. Computer, watching on his computer in North Carolina, $3.15. Love it. $3.99 Friday, $3.65 now. God bless you. $3.15 in Royce, is that how you say it? Royce City, Texas. Thank you very much. God bless you. I love it. I'm glad to hear the gas prices are dropping because they are for me too. I think I paid $3.19 this afternoon whenever I got gas on the way home. Now I got to go to the DMV tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to that. I'm sure everyone in the DMV is going to have real gas. So there we go. And we always try to get some new members on the channel. Join the channel as a member. I would love to get some new members here on the channel. You get access to the channel, Discord, private server, all that kind of stuff for chatting. And I'm doing a road trip across the United States soon. So I'm hoping to let some of my members know where I'm going to be so that we can meet up and I can buy a burger or something. $3.49 at Costco. God bless you. I love it. Valdosta, Georgia. I saw a gas price in there. All right, so let's just jump right in here. And, you know, I like making fun of the limey Brits. I do. These are the prime ministers that they've had since 2015. 2015, David Cameron, 429 days. Theresa May, 1,106 days. Boris Johnson, 1,140 days. We got a birthday boy in here, G-Dub. Put on your birthday suit and run outside. Liz Truss, 49 days. Rishi Sunak, 619. And Sir Keir Starmer, a massive 717 days employed. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because everybody thought that our president would be the one that would be short-lived. But look at these clouds. This is a DEI fiasco, isn't it? Do you think I mean, wow, Sir Keir. I'm just trolling Keir Starmer whenever I say Sir Keir. He looks like an angry woman that likes women, but that's just my opinion. The really interesting part on this, I think, is that Trump was right and he let it out of the bag the day before. He let it all out of the bag the day before. And a lot of people made fun of Trump for calling Sir Keir out.
They expected to resign as soon as tomorrow amid growing pressure over his leadership and support within his party. The Observer writing, quote, the prime minister is understood to have reached the conclusion that his position is no longer tenable after conversations in recent days. Starmer is under pressure to make his intentions clear before Tuesday's critical cabinet meeting, where ministers are planning to tell him that his time is up.
You're fired. They should have had Trump's audio, like, so they could just say, you're fired. I think that's what would have been best. But there's a lot of people that are freaking out because Trump was right. Oh, we got some new members rolling in here. Fantastic. DC Power gave away some gift memberships. God bless you. How dare you? And then we've got Mike ACG gave away some members.
How dare you?
How dare you guys? Man, that's fantastic. I really appreciate your time. Really appreciate the donation and the time and getting more people into the Freedom Coalition, which is what I think we're building here. I think a lot of people call me an evil, sarcastic bastard, an ESB, and I'm sure we've got some other ESBs in the chat. And I really appreciate it because I think my empathy has run its course. I am no longer playing the empathy game. You're not going to blackmail me into being nice. I don't need to be nice. You don't feed me, fund me, or you know what else. So I don't have to be nice. And I can be, let's say this, I can be nice, I can be courteous, but I need to also be honest. And this is the one thing that I noticed being honest right now is this Ursula von der Leyen, right? Really good name. I think that was the name of the chef in the Muppets, right? But she, president of the EU, congratulated Sir Keir. It could take many leaders years to grow into the statesman you became in 2 years. It's like he transitioned into a new gender. European and Ukrainian security is stronger because of you. Nothing about the English people being safer, more secure, right? They're basically about to outlaw knives. No, thank you, dear Keir. Okay, she's a poet and didn't know it. It's pretty interesting to see the leg humping that is transpiring there. And it's kind of sick. It's disgusting. We don't get that same kind of leg humping for our president, except whenever somebody's trying to run for office. That is the only time. When someone is running for office, they're nice. To Trump, anyway. You know, that's the way it is. It's like whenever I could show you all of the text messages that I get through my line at the top. And you're welcome to text message during the show. Text that number during the show, and I'll have that. But I'm going to warn you before you text message something to the show. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of the evil, sarcastic bastard right here. Okay? That's just the way it is. If you say something, I'm going to use it against you if I can, if it's inappropriate or if it's nasty. So you're feel free to text the show during the show, and I will make sure to highlight your text. If it's funny, that's good. If it's troll worthy, I'm going to troll you back because I got the microphone, right? That's just the way it is. And I like to, but getting back to what I was saying, people are nice to Trump whenever they need something, when they need an endorsement. People are nice to me in my text messages when they want something, when they want to get on the list, when they want a free membership, when they are a member and they've let their memberships lapse and then they think they can just freeload. Well, my empathy is gone. I read this great book, Suicidal Empathy, by Gad Saad. Godsad, I think I don't know how you say his name. Anyway, he's a professor. And he wrote this book called Suicidal Empathy. And I think for too long as a society, we have been overly empathetic. In the name of whatever, the UK has been overly empathetic in the name of, not hurting someone's feelings. So rather than hurting someone's feelings, we will arrest the offender for a meme. Same thing's happened in the United States. Not to that level yet. But as well, like on college campuses, we don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. So we allow, these Palestinian liberation offenders, the PLO people, to intimidate Jewish students. We allow people to attack people for being a different color, for being white, for being conservative, for being Christian, for wearing a MAGA hat. But the pendulum never swings back the other way. Well, now my empathy has burned out. I'm not empathetic anymore. I just don't have it. I want to be this guy. This is the guy I want to be. This is the guy that I think is getting the last laugh. This is Larry the cat. Larry the cool cat has outlasted 6 prime ministers. And he looks like he's got like a giant hairball or something there. I hope he goes in and takes a dump on Keir Starmer's desk. That would make me the most happy, right? That would make me happy. But it's interesting that the British, because they do have a way with humor, the very dry humor, the way that they will turn this. And that was one of the things that I really liked, Now, I want to jump over to something else here that is near and dear to a lot of you, okay? Near and dear to a lot of you. And this is an article from Just the News. John Solomon has his own news outlet, newspaper, news website. It's not actually paper. Newspapers are dead. The United States Intel has located video that is proving the Wuhan stuff in China was all paid for by you and me, taxpayers, right? We've got video proof now. And basically the year after this whole number 19, hate potion number 19, we'll call it, the pandemic reached the United States, a U.S. intelligence official flagged a video circulating online showing a government-funded scientist admitting publicly that his colleagues in China had manipulated the proteins. They manipulated it, right? And it's all on video. And I think Fauci showing how long his, his thing is in the photo there. I think Fauci's in trouble, guys. I really do. And I don't know how if you've not seen this clip, but boy, oh boy, this is very telling. Let me make this larger so that you can see this, and let me pump up the volume. There we go. G-Dub, I know you know what song that is. Let's pump up the volume. Here we go. This is amazing.
As an example, first of all, we're only looking at viral families that include those that have got into people from animals. So we narrow it down straight away. Then when you get
I think it quit.
A sequence of a virus, and it looks like a relative of a known nasty pathogen, just like we did with SARS. We found other coronaviruses in bats, a whole host of them. Some of them looked very similar to SARS. So we sequenced the spike protein, the protein that attaches to cells. Then I didn't do this work, but my colleagues in China did the work. You create pseudoparticles,
Did you hear that part? That was the most important. Listen to what he says about China.
Attaches to cells. Then I didn't do this work, but my colleagues in China did the work. You create pseudoparticles, you insert the spike proteins from those viruses, see if they bind to human cells. And each step of this, you move closer and closer to this virus could really become pathogenic in people. So you narrow down the field, you reduce the cost, and you end up with a small number of viruses that really do look like killers. Then you look in people and you say, in the people that live in the region where this animal lives.
It's really amazing. He admits, well, I didn't do it, but my compatriots in China did it. I love this. It is, it's crazy. Projection values on the rise. You're looking great, Ben. Keep up the great work, and I'll keep subscribing. Free truth. Really appreciate that. That's nice. What do you think about this? Because I think this video of him admitting that what they did, he admitted who they were and who they work for. It's pretty amazing. Steve Hilton will get me out of jail. Governor Steve Hilton. G-Dub is making the assumption Steve Hilton will be the next governor. Do you agree with him? And G-Dub just donated $2 on his birthday. Thank you, G-Dub. B-Rad for real became a member. Thank you very much. God bless you. Let me give you all a...
How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you become a member on the channel on G-Dub's birthday? Now, there is someone that has come out of the woodwork that I've not been a real big fan of, because on multiple occasions, he has disappointed us on multiple occasions. And I don't know if he's going to disappoint us on this one. I see no reason to believe him. It's the same way with Iran. And you tell me if you're going to believe this, because a lot of you have your BS filters turned maybe too high. I don't know. Kentucky Republican Rand Paul, he's the chair of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, announced the subpoena Monday, today, for Fauci to appear next month. There's a lot of urgency here, in a hearing tied to the probe of the Love Potion number 19 origins. Paul alleges a multi-agency cover-up. Alleges. We got to love that. The DNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, will be called back to testify. Says the natural origins over the Wuhan, the bat factory where the Batman lives, holding a broad Biden pardon from 2025 because Fauci retired and he got the pardon that went back to 2014, the same year and month, January 2014, that Hunter Biden's went to. Now, Hunter Biden started working for Burisma in Ukraine in February of 2014. Anthony Fauci, this gain of function research came to light in January of 2014. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences. It's just up to you. But does anybody believe that Rand Paul is suddenly going to do something? And here's a very nice image of Rand. He's signing some paperwork. He's copying Trump, signing some paperwork, right? We're supposed to believe suddenly that Rand Paul, after all of his theatrics, arguing with Fauci, that we're suddenly going to get something done by Rand Paul? I just don't know, man. I just don't know about Rand Paul. I don't know if I trust Rand Paul, or if it's all for theatrics, if it's for campaigning. Dennis, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. God bless you.
How dare you?
Now, the one thing that comes up, what has changed? And this is the interesting part, because Tulsi took some questions. The Tulsi declassifications show him repeatedly misleading the intelligence community and lying to Congress. Perjury. Perjury to an elected official, a member of Congress or a member of the Senate, is a felony. So does the pardon cover it? I don't know. And I think that's where we're going to get really into the weeds on whether or not the pardon covers the perjury. It's amazing, because the same thing that got Al Capone was a simple tax evasion. And it wasn't for much. It was like $1,300. Could the thing that brings down Fauci be something as simple as perjury? I mean, could it be? Wouldn't that be just like the most beautiful thing ever? Let me do a poll. We've got a poll going on in the chat right now. What is the poll we've got going on right here? What has Trump been right about so far? What has he been right about so far? And let's see here. I want to... Daisy, Stop. She's like trying to get up on my chair while I'm talking, which she can't do. But I put 4 options there. Iran. Has Trump been right about Iran? Has he been right about Fauci? Has he been right about England? 87% say he's been right about everything. Sputnik says everything. I don't think you're wrong, Sputnik. And it seems like every time that we want to doubt the guy, he kind of totally redeems himself. It's kind of like, I think I've got a clip here. It kind of reminds me of this.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself! Still want to go to Aspen? Oh, yeah! Okay, let's go, buddy!
That's what it reminds me of. Every time the news media, a Democrat senator, a Democrat congressman, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, we haven't heard that name for years. Every time one of them thinks that they got it right, it's just the hypocrisy. The irony is what I really enjoy covering. I like the irony, the hypocrisy, the continued failures by the Democrat Party. Now, I want to go over this real quick. I find this very interesting as well, because it seems like some of these House Republicans suddenly went to see the wizard, because they're starting to get some heart. They're starting to get some guts. They're starting to get some bravery. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. And you probably all know why as well. It's getting close to the midterms. Not only is it getting close to the midterms, but these people need endorsements from the president. They need endorsements from Trump. They need endorsements from other members of different caucuses. They need, more than anything, is your campaign donations. So you've got Anna Paulina Luna. She's leading this Freedom Caucus. You got Chip Roy. I don't like Chip Roy. Lauren Boebert. She showed her colors. I think she showed some other stuff in the movie theater as well. Andy Biggs signed a letter targeting the bipartisan 21st century Road to the Housing Act. So they're trying to tie the SAVE Act to this Housing Act. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it'll work. I like the effort. I really do. But this is the problem that I see. And I don't know if any of you knew this. There are 27 weeks left in the year. The Senate is only going to be working 11 of those. So do you think the filibuster is going to get nuked? I don't see it happening. I don't see the filibuster getting nuked.
They say it would take at least months. Your response?
Shannon, days or weeks can feel like months or years to United States senators who want to be doing other things. The truth is, we haven't tried what I believe it takes to get the Save America Act passed, which is to put it on the floor and to say we're going to debate this for weeks. And we'll stay through weekends. We'll stay through previously scheduled recesses if necessary. But we're going to stay on this bill until it passes. Nothing sharpens the mind. Nothing hastens agreement. Nothing will bring about face-saving and perfecting amendments, quite like the obligation to stay in and debate something that is popular with the American people, when filibustering senators trying to slow it down are becoming steadily less popular in their arguments.
Because now we all know who they are. That's the one thing that social media has done. It has made us hyper aware of the losers. We've got some losers in here, and I love the trolls. Thank you very much, trolls. I really appreciate it. It just means that I'm kind of over the target, and it means that obviously what we're saying is working, or it wouldn't bother you, right? That's what's happening. And with enough people in America passing or pushing for the SAVE Act, that's what's bothering all of them, is because now we know who they are. Now we know what they're not doing. And by that happening, somebody says, Gunner's mate, where is Trump going? I think Trump's going to the trophy room. I think he's going to the trophy room to grab some more trophies. That's what I think. Nick Fuentes Maggot. I don't know. I don't watch that kid. I've got t-shirts and probably underwear older than him, so I don't really watch him. But I think what we're seeing right now with the push for the SAVE Act is huge. And it needed to happen a long damn time ago. And sadly, it didn't. But now we're getting down under the gun. And I think we're going to see a bigger push. And I just hope the push gets the ball across the finish line. I don't know if it will. I hope it does. But I don't know, man. I would love to know, do you all think that we get the SAVE Act passed? Realistically, I'm asking a legitimate question. Do you honestly think that we get the SAVE Act passed before the midterms? Let's do this. SAVE Act before the midterms. Let's do this. Do you think it happens? Now, there are rumors that Markwayne Mullins, DHS secretary, is going to use his resources at voting stations, polling booths, polling locations. And I would love to ask you this. Do you support that? Do you support the use of ICE agents at polling stations? Do you support the use of federal customs border patrol people? I don't mind police being there. I don't mind military being there. I don't mind firefighters being there. Debbie says 1,000%. I think if it doesn't if you're not here illegally, why would you be bothered? Why would you be bothered? I'm just waiting for Tucker Carlson to come out and say that the SAVE Act is racist, because he's trying to basically do everything else to the Republican Party. He is trying to split everyone else. And I don't know where it came from, but there's a lot of people. I want to show you this. This is Seth Dillon, owns the Babylon Bee. He's talking about Tucker Carlson here, Tucker Carlson. He hates Trump and Jews. He's abandoned the GOP, Grand Old Party, Republican Party, and has fallen in love with Islam. He's basically Charlie's opposite, meaning Charlie Kirk. Tucker Carlson, in an article, says he's done with the GOP. Now, I have a question for the chat. We had a thing in the Navy. No one was bigger than the ship. One person could transfer, 10 people could transfer. No one leaving the ship affected the readiness of that ship. And I don't think that Tucker Carlson disavowing the Republican Party, I almost read your comment, bought and paid for, yeah. I don't believe Tucker Carlson leaving the Republican Party bothers me at all. I don't think that's going to change my life at all. Tucker isn't right in the head ever since that demon got in his bed, right? But here's the clip of Tucker saying this. Let me play this. I want you to see it. Is this going to change the way you vote? Does anyone take voting advice from Tucker?
I would march into the Oval Office and say to Trump, like, knock it off. Like, this is ridiculous. This is the opposite of what we ran on. What are you doing? And you either stop doing it, or I'm going to give a press conference every single day from my house and explain to the world what you're doing and why. And I'm going to attack you. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Well, that's pretty much what you've done
for the country.
That's what you've sort of done.
Well, no, but I'm saying if I were vice president,
yeah.
And I wouldn't get anything done. I'm not sure. What I'm saying is that I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
JD Vance, and this is obvious if you watch him, has a different personality where he's always trying to make things better. He doesn't throw up his hands in rage and say, you're too disgusting, I'm not dealing with you. He says, I disagree with this, that, and the other thing, but what can we improve? And that's a different way of operating in the world. It's a way that I respect. I respect him for that. I always have. You know,
isn't it ironic he's on a Democrat podcast called We Can't Be Censored, even though the Democrat Party censored everyone during the Fauci Summer of Love, right? Everyone was censored.
And I'm the guy who's like, you know what? You make me sick. I'm out. Of course, they're making decisions on the basis of other criteria. What's best for this company? What's best for Israel? What's best for our donors? I mean, you know, I just want to say again, that's unacceptable. That's not just like they're off in the wrong direction. Like, that is unacceptable.
When all else fails, when you run out of every other valid point, just call the other people racist and blame Israel. I just told you how to win every argument. Any argument you're involved in for the rest of your life, even with your wife or your husband, you immediately call them racist and tell them it's because of Israel. Your wife's like, honey, you didn't take out the garbage. You say, look, Sarah, you're racist and Israel made you do it. That's the method that these people are using right now. And it's damn disgusting. But once you see it, it's so easy to see. And they don't want you to notice this. This is the other one here. Look at this. This is where he smears poop on you.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at this point, you know, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of a foreign country above those of its own citizens? Like, that's.
So Tucker's saying he wouldn't support the Republican Party. He wouldn't support the Democrat Party. No party that doesn't support the United States. Do I need to show you the clip of all the Democrat senators waving Ukraine flags? Do I need to show you that one?
You know, it's not possible to vote for people like that, and I'm not going to. And I think I voted Republican my entire life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender. But there's no defending this because it's immoral, and it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation. And they're not doing that. So no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out. I would.
Yeah, I bet Rand Paul's out. I bet Thomas Massey's out. I bet Marjorie Taylor Greene's out. I bet all of those people are out, right? I mean, that's who's out. Look at this. Look at the post from Marjorie Taylor Greene here. I'm going to have to go take care of Fred. Hold on.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at this point, you know, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not?
I love whatever he says. How would I support? This is what he wanted. He wanted to come say hello. There's Fred. But look at that. There's a post from Marjorie Taylor Greene there. Tucker's not the only one who is done supporting the Republican Party. There's a lot of us who are absolutely fed up and will not support a party that betrays its voters and country. So I'm thinking the one she's talking about is probably Thomas Massey, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo, John Bolton, the Hodge twins or Hodge twins. Let's go with Nick Fuentes. Let's go with Alex Jones, Schroyer. Who else do we got? Elijah Schaefer. I mean, all those people. Now, somebody said, where does Benny stand on this? I don't know. The guy's got a great channel. Benny Johnson does a lot of great work. I'm tired of disparaging anyone that I don't agree with. I'm not empathetic for some of his bullshit, but I'm not going to just come on here and crap on anybody anymore. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I just don't care. they don't live in my head enough for me to actually say enough about it. You know, that's my thing. So let's go here. I want to show you this one. The president was speaking here, and this is pretty interesting to hear what President Trump says about the nuclear weapons. Listen to this. Let me turn that up.
It's a lot of money.
If the war with Iran could cause a worldwide depression, as you noted, Mr. President, are you willing to risk economic catastrophe and strike Iran
Well,
again?
not the way I'm doing it.
Not the
It's
way
not going to cause depression.
Yes, but if they don't abide by the
Well,
memorandum of
nuclear weapon
understanding.
supersedes depression. Depression's real bad. Nuclear weapon will cause depression much more quickly. The way we're doing it, we have the opposite of a depression. We're doing really well. The numbers are incredible. The oil is at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Oil prices are way down. I think they're very comparable to what they were, Chris. I don't know, pretty comparable.
What do you think about this clip? Do you like how the media tries to twist everything? I mean, what's more dangerous, a nuclear weapon or high gas prices? A nuclear weapon that's exploded, an actual detonated nuclear weapon. I'm going to take nuclear weapon for 1,000, Alex. That's the one that I'm the most worried about, is them getting one of those. I don't understand how some people can't figure this part out. I just don't get how people can't see that's what has been happening. And so there's a combination of things that have been trying to split conservatives. They try to split conservatives with Israel. They try to split conservatives with Iran. They try to split conservatives with empathy, you know, the LGBT, the pride, baseball, and stuff like that. And I think this guy explains it so freaking well. If you don't watch Zach Asmongold, you need to watch this 2-minute clip. This is priceless. The guy is a soothsayer.
The reason why they do it is because it gets a lot of attention on the internet. I don't think a lot of these people really believe that Israel's the biggest problem in the United States. I think the reality is that there is an army of third worlders that hate Jews, and hating Israel is the closest thing that they can get. So when these right-wing figures like Tucker Carlson do entire shows about how bad Israel is, I think that they attract all of those third worlders into there. Like, a lot of countries are just profoundly anti-Semitic. They hate Jews. So the moment that you start talking about this, you unlock all of those audiences. This is what my opinion on a lot of the Jew hate is. I think that it is a subversion that's been created by people that want to undermine right-wing figures, and they have introduced the Jew hate inside of the right-wing party to divide the party and make the party fighting and playing among us on who's a Jew and who's not, rather than who should be in the country and who shouldn't be in the country. I think in the same way that the Democrat Party was poison-pilled with identity politics like trans stuff, I think that the Republican Party is being poison-pilled by fixating everything around Israel. Everything is about Israel. Listen, when every single one of the people that I don't want in the country is against this needs to be said more. I think that's what it is. This entire fixation around blaming everything on them is just stupid. And keep in mind, too, this is the most important thing to keep in mind. When you say that kind of stuff and you do that, you find yourself on the same side of every single organization and group that wants to destroy the United States and Western civilization.
Nation of Islam.
Every single group thinks the exact same thing. That's crazy. And you're wrong on this issue, Zach. I do not think that Jews are the main cause for all of our problems. I think this is a total subversion that's been created to poison the right wing and the conservative movement to keep it fighting amongst itself rather than recognizing where the real enemies are. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree that this has been a giant op? a giant psyop. It's almost like MK Ultra type stuff, where if somebody sees a damn what's the thing with the candles, the candelabra? Well, I don't even know what it's called. The thing with the candles. Well, somebody knows what it's called. When you see one of those, people get triggered by that stuff. They really get triggered. A menorah. Thank you. Damn it. A menorah. I knew I couldn't remember it. Thank you, Enigma or Dan Cat. Thank you. I knew I would not remember what it was. But people get triggered just by seeing this. And Zach recognizes this. And I recognize it. I believe it is an absolute psyop. Shalom, Joe. God bless you. I don't wear one of the little hats. I don't care. I don't care. Jay Maddox. It's absolutely a psyop. Let me ask you this. If you agree with Jay Maddox, I got a point with that hand. I'm left-handed. If you agree with Jay Maddox at being a psyop, type a 1 for yes. 1 for yes. If you disagree and you think Jay Maddox and me are total buffoons, say no. Do you care, Ben? Haha. I don't know if I care. I just don't care what people's religion are. As long as they don't come knocking on my door, because I got a no soliciting sign, as long as they don't want to put Sharia law in my country, as long as they don't want to do things to small children, as long as they want to leave the goats alone, I don't care what their religion is. But there's so many of them, various religions, that hate me because I'm a white conservative male American that believes in Jesus. And that's the part that bothers me. That is the part that bothers me. And they all forget. They all forget what happened to all of the different people. Skull caps. Oh yeah. The things. The Yamahas. Not Yamaha, that's the name of a guitar. Yarmulke. That's it. Yarmulke. Eat your own green banana leaves. Yeah. Now, the same people that hate them are probably responsible for this. Look at this.
Just now, another suspect is now in custody in connection with what prosecutors call a plot to attack the crowds at the UFC fight at the White House last Sunday. The feds say that the suspect got cash from the accused ringleader who gave him a gun just 2 days before the event. This is heating up. Justice correspondent David Spunt reporting live from Washington. Hi, David.
Hi, Martha. 6 people now in custody regarding this event. Jordan Rinker is being charged in the Western District of Missouri. He's charged with transferring a pump-action shotgun to Abraham Alvarez in Nebraska. You may remember that name. We mentioned Alvarez several times last week, who authorities say was the ringleader of this plot, which thankfully turned out to be nothing. Now, investigators tell Fox the alleged plan was to use drones with explosives to hit buildings near the event, which would force a mass evacuation and steer crowds towards a pre-staged sniper team. This new group joins a list, meaning that this new suspect joins a list that includes Tyson Proper from Ohio, Brian Roa, and
anybody want to take a guess who these guys voted for? Any guessers here? Tyson Proper, Brian Omar Roa, Michael Allen Thomas, Daniel Eskridge, and then they've got what's this guy's name? Abraham Hermosilio Alvarez. Do you think they're registered voters here?
Michael Thomas from California, Daniel Eskridge from Missouri, and authorities say that ringleader who I mentioned, Abraham Alvarez from Nebraska. Now, a quote, second wave, Martha, was allegedly planning to storm the White House gate. One suspect allegedly told investigators the goal was to target capitalist elites or politicians who received donations from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
Targeting people that received money from AIPAC? Wait, what?
Known as AIPAC. Now, investigators.
Do you know AIPAC's actually based in the United States?
They have screenshots from one of the phones of an accused plotter that feature aerial photos and maps of locations in.
Okay, so we know what's going on. I want to get back to this. I want to get to these images right here. Now, I am going to say this, and I've read the book Suicidal Empathy, and I've now started on his other book called The Parasitic Mind. And the way that this works, and it's the way it's worked in the United States for a long damn time, is how we coddle violent criminals like these people. And we get past the fact of what they were trying to do, who they were trying to target, the event, what it could have done. We get past that. And we go to the sympathy, right? And it goes to the offender's trauma, their poverty, their background, while the victim, the president and all these other people, they're secondary. This is how our society has become. We are now choosing criminals over the victims. Think about all the stuff that's happened in the UK, 250,000 cases of it. The other thing that we do with this empathy is the soft punishment. We can't send Tyson to a prison. He's a 22-year-old male with male pattern baldness. I mean, we can't, there's no way he would be able to survive prison. We have to worry about their comfort, right? We can't call them criminals. They're justice involved. We can't call them homeless. They're unhoused, right? It's like the hardships for the squatters over the homeowners. It's the way that we worry about the illegal migrants over the citizens or over veterans. We worry about the drug addicts needing clean needles and a safe place to shoot up. We don't care about the kids that are waiting at a bus stop next to them, right? Or we don't care about the 7-year-old girl that's playing against a 17-year-old dude in a soccer game. That's the way that the empathy has changed. And that's the way the way that we have fallen for their trap. And that's the way it is. And it's the same way that the UK has fallen. The UK values the offender over the victim. I'm going to show you something here that has pissed me off for a long time. And this was a guy that was, well, I just want to bring it up here real quick before I show you. And some of you are going to be aware, I'm not a big fan of Canada. I'm not a fan of Canada. And this is one of the reasons I'm not a fan of Canada. And I'm picking on Canada, but I mean it for any country that does this. And this is 8 years ago. Now, this is what happened. Canada, being the empathetic bastion of freedom that they are, they paid $10.5 million to a Gitmo detainee that was convicted of taking the life of a U.S. soldier. Okay? When he was 15. So he didn't know what he was doing, right? He was 15. This is what we have become. Well, that's what Canada has become. I don't want us to become that. And just seeing this pisses me off. They paid him $10.5 million. And this is just one of the examples. There's another example. I could bring it up in a second, where a woman, her daughter was taken. Let's just say that. Her daughter was taken. Her daughter passed away. I don't even want to pull up the article. It'll make you sick. The daughter was taken. The daughter was abused by these people. because the woman was so empathetic at the altar of empathy, let's call it that she told the people at the memorial, the funeral for her daughter, save the money, don't donate it for flowers, don't buy flowers, donate it to the asylum center that the 8 migrants were living at that took her daughter and did awful things to. That's the altar of empathy that I refuse to ever allow to happen for me. I just can't do that. I can't play that game. There's a lot of people that can play the game. And I just don't think I can ever get to that point of ever being that empathetic. I've tried to find the word empathy in the Bible. Don't know if I can. I've heard eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, you know, that kind of stuff. But I can't get that empathetic for these people. Fauci gain a function, reason, create a brand new deadly virus to then study it. What the fuck? Yeah. Oh, sorry for the language. Somebody sent me that message. God bless you. Beep. Sorry. The sailor always wants to come out whenever I get a little upset. Y'all understand. What I'm going to do here, let's grab a handful of calls. Love to get your opinion on what you guys want to talk about tonight. We are in a dynamic time to be alive. There's so much good happening. It's easy to get caught up in the negative. And if you seek negativity, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on social media, whether it's in the newspaper, you can find it and you can bog your life down. And you can come on my channel and just make as many negative comments as you want. And it's not going to bother me. I'll ignore you to the point where I can block you, I guess. But if that's where you're at in life, where you just need somewhere to go and complain, this might not be the place for you. You probably need some help. I want to grab some calls tonight. And I know we get a lot of regular callers. If I don't grab the regular callers, it's because I'm trying to get some new folks that maybe have an opportunity or haven't had an opportunity to call in. So feel free, 615-475-7864. Also, turn the audio down whenever you call in. Do that. Here we go. What do you got? Where are you calling from? What's your name?
This is Kerry Al from Yorksville, Ohio. How you doing, Ben?
Great. What you got?
I just have and this is just to do with the Fauci. It's just a real quick history lesson. Only take less than 30 seconds. You know, everybody seems to think that this COVID is a new thing. It's really not. It started back in the medieval times when they were shooting dead animals that were diseased over the walls or castles to infect people. And it come down to, you know, the American Indian Wars when we were using smallpox infected blankets and measles infected blankets that we gave to the American Indians. And the chemical part of the warfare, you know, during the Great War, we used mustard gas. But the bottom line, what I'm getting to, is this has been going on for a long time. It's nothing new. After World War II, they had facilities all over the world. I don't know whether it was 150 or not, but they were everywhere studying biological and chemical warfare.
There are 195 countries in the world. Fauci and the Biden administration, and I go all the way back, had biolabs in 130 of the 195 countries. 130 of the 195 countries. And we only know that because of Tulsi Gabbard. That's the only reason we know. Carrie, thank you for calling. I think we got disconnected there, but thank you for calling. You bring up a great point, a solid point. It's been going on for a long damn time. Sadly, Fauci just got caught, right? Or for the grace of God, he got caught. That there's two ways to look at this. The UK apparently is going to have a new prime minister that's even more crazy than Keir Starmer. Angry Bootneck is a Brit. He's a what do they call him? Well, no, he's not a Brummie. He's from Middlesbrough. I don't know what you call people from Middlesbrough other than just dirty, I think is all you call them there. And he'll get that. But lines are open, 615-475-7864. Feel free to call in. Really appreciate it if you join the channel as a member. You can, I'm trying to build this alternative outlet. It's called Patreon. So if you want to join as a member over on Patreon, feel free. Where are you calling from? What's your name? What you got?
This is Valdosta.
Gotcha.
You were asking a question if the word empathy was in the Bible. I looked it up on the internet. The modern word empathy is not in any translation of the Bible, even though the general concept of empathy is.
Sure.
Like in compassion, that kind of thing. But the actual word empathy is nowhere in the Bible, period.
Empathy is good to have. But whenever a group of people use it against you for their own personal gain, it has another word. It's got 2 words. It's called emotional
Stupidity.
blackmail. Emotional blackmail. Line 3, go right ahead.
Hello, Mr. Dykes. This is H. Walder coming to you from upstate New York. Hey, my son, I'm about 20 minutes behind in the live stream. My son is going to graduate next year. I'm going to meet with a recruiter next week. I really want him to join National Guard.
Why?
Because this is one of the biggest regrets that I have.
Why the National Guard? Why not active duty?
Well, I don't know, because, well, hopefully he gets there. He gets somewhere, don't he? Well, I'm asking you in the chat, guys, can you chime in? Like, I'm going to go meet with the recruiter next Monday, and I want to ask
I would
questions.
not, this is just my opinion personally. I would not recommend the National Guard. It's like, here's what the National Guard is. It's like camping, but you only want to go camping in your backyard. Join the real military. And I know there's some National Guard people in here that are going to get offended by me saying the real military, but like, join the real military. Go away from home and see something. The National Guard, you're going to go to some damn disaster in Louisiana for a hurricane. Let the kid decide. I agree. Let him meet with all the recruiters and the National. I don't want to badmouth the National Guard, but let them talk to some active duty recruiters. I appreciate you calling. God bless you. Let them join the damn Marine Corps. National Guard is very peculiar about VA benefits. You bring up a very good question. The injury, illness, or disease has to happen on Title 10 orders. If it doesn't happen on Title 10 orders, it goes to the state, which is workman's comp. Workman's comp. National Guard's great for some people. Sorry, I'm retired from active duty. I could sit on here and I'm not going to do that, but whatever. Lines are open, 615-475-7864. Feel free. Yes, SAA, E-Fire, everything. I don't know what that means. Hello, Arthur. Let's go right here. Line 2, what you got?
Yeah. Hey, Ben. This is Macon from Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Yeah. What you got?
Baton Rouge. Yes, sir. I don't know. You know, I just walked in and turned your show on.
Appreciate that.
I've been at the Pew Pew store picking up some supplies for.
Okay.
I don't know. I caught a bunch of Trump's posts today.
Yep.
Prior to the quantum advancement.
I think he's just trolling people with the Q stuff. I think it's hilarious.
I feel you, but it was a trigger to me, you know. And I'm like, okay, it's coming.
I love it.
I do too. He got me, you know, that's for sure. I've been a supporter of Donald Trump since 2017, and I stick by him all the way.
Good.
Hey,
let me ask you this. Are you a LSU fan? Are you a GEAUX fan?
I am a GEAUX fan. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I've got a lot of family down in Houma, Lake Pontchartrain. Some of the best
Yeah.
people ever. Whenever I was a
Good.
kid, during the summers, I would go work on my cousin's shrimp boat
Shrimp boat?
and oyster boat. It was the hardest
Oh, yeah.
work I ever had in my entire life. But
Absolutely.
because we got up at like 2:00 in the morning, but it was I ate like a king that entire summer. I mean,
Yeah.
every day
Definitely.
was a king. You know, I had a muffalata sandwich big as a pie pan. You know, you take care,
I can
brother.
believe it.
God bless you.
God bless you.
There we go. Great call. Great call. I like it. I got a lot of family down there. Some of them coon asses are good people, real good people. They will give you the shirts off their back, but you piss them off, they'll take yours. Let's see here. Texas Aviator. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what we got going on in the chat. Stockpile your freedom seat. G-Dub, happy birthday. What you got?
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, man. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, remember we had that conversation about Steve Hilton way back, and you was like, you smoking that crack? Get off the crack, G-Dub. Is it crack is
I
whack.
am not saying you're smoking crack just because you're from Compton. That was not
Oh,
the
just
reference.
because I'm black. Okay, I see a black man can't get no respect around these parts.
I still don't
How you
think
doing,
Steve
brother?
Hilton. I still don't think Steve Hilton wins the governor's race.
Well, if we can't get this stupid Save America Act passed, and the problem also is that in November we finally did get on the ballot voter verification here in California, but unfortunately, when that passes, it won't take effect until 2028. So you get what I'm saying? If it's just close enough to scare the hell out of them, where they know they can't get away with what they used to can get away with, trust me. And then we do have our Latino brothers and sisters that are, rapidly switching. As a matter of fact, they're saying New Mexico might even tilt
Here's
purple,
what's
if
gonna
not
happen.
a little bit. Go
I
ahead.
got a guest coming on. Here's what's going to happen. Before the midterms, Gavin Newsom and the rest of the Democrats are going to import more voters than DoorDash on Taco Tuesday. You know it's going to happen. G-Dub, God bless you. I appreciate you. Happy birthday. There we go. G-Dub out of California. I got somebody coming on here that we can make fun of. We've got our token limey
dickhead
Brit.
in California
what do
as
you
well.
think? What do you oh yeah, that's right. You're in California as well. Here, let me put you over there so that the image or the what do you call it? The chat is on me. What do you think about your boy Keir Starmer, Sir Keir, resigning? What are your thoughts? And for anybody not knowing who this is, Angry Bootneck, follow his channel. He's a salty British veteran living in California.
I'm not as serious as you, Ben. I'm more of a political comic than a serious commentator like yourself. Keir Starmer's, the writing was on the wall for him for the last year. He's definitely the most unpopular Prime Minister of my lifetime. And he's probably the most unpopular we've ever had. Yeah, he's also a wanker, but everyone knows that. Unless he's talking about me, maybe one of my followers. Yeah, the man's a prick. He's a toilet. The problem with this modern world we've created, the globo homos have created, is that the left in Europe are desperately trying to play this game where they have extremely left-wing policies, but they try and pander to the centre. And I mean, it's almost similar with the right in Europe. None of the right-wing parties are right-wing. Trump gets called far-right and a fascist. It's like he's never deleted a journalist. He's never took a student for a free helicopter ride. He hasn't done any of the... I mean, if you're going to call him a fascist, why don't we get any of the cool stuff from fascism? It's ridiculous. So,
if he was a fascist, it wouldn't be mass deportations. It would be lining them up on a wall. Like, it would be real. It would be Benito Mussolini type stuff,
Ludicrous. And you know this as well as I do. Words don't mean anything to these people. They're meaningless. Fascism has a dictionary definition. I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, They keep calling Trump a fascist. He's now had 2 terms and he's been in power, like, combined total of about 6 years. And he hasn't done anything fascistic. I was like, he's almost kind of dull, really, considering how bombastic he was on the trail. He's just carried on business as usual, trying to help the economy out, he's done nothing.
Trump is good at, though, and I think this is Trump's superpower, and I've associated with him many times with Batman. Trump is Batman. He is a rich white billionaire from New York. New York is Gotham in DC Comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rich white billionaire. Not only that, but his real superpower is that he exposes everyone that hates America. If you hate America, when Trump posts something on True Social, you cannot avoid responding. You cannot. That Trump has a superpower, and I think he's Bruce Wayne, rich white billionaire ruling the city. He built New York. I mean, other than having a damn bat car flying around the sky with a light in the sky, he's Batman. But think about this. During the 4 years when Biden was in there, how many times were people like begging for the guy to come back? And it was like in the Batman movies when Bruce Wayne got hurt and he disappeared and the city went to shit and all the crime. Everybody was begging for the guy to come back. And now he's back to hate him. Now he's back to hate him.
The media missed him because that's all they talked about. CNN became the Trump channel for 24 hours a day.
It gets better. If you ever want to see the channel that lives and dies by Trump, it's called Midas Touch on YouTube. Every video they have,
galloping TDS.
Yep. Yeah. Everything is Trump. I'm looking at their last. It's disgusting. It's
unhinged.
It's epic.
It's unhinged.
It is. I'll pull this up. You have to. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's Midas Touch. Right here's Midas Touch.
Every single thumbnail. Trump. Yeah. Trump.
Everything. Trump fell. Trump farted. Trump sneezed. Oh, they snuck in a Kerry Lake. Okay. Trump DOJ. MTG revenge on Trump. Rubio betrays Vance. If Trump goes away, they are on food stamps.
Yeah, I bet he's making bank off Trump's back. Everyone's getting rich off him. It's mad, isn't it? You know what I agree with you totally about is superpower, because I've actually read stories about the president stripping, I nearly said people, terrorists, stripping like wannabe terrorists of the citizenship, because TDS is such a virulent disease. When they catch it, they can't help themselves. They have to rush into the streets, burn an American flag, talk shit about the United States. And some of these numbnuts, they're not even Americans. They're here on green cards or student visas. And then the most hilarious thing about that is they love slagging off America. Oh, America sucks. I watched one yesterday, this Egyptian student going, my country is much better than America. But she's living in America. They're always living in America. They're desperate to get to America, all of them.
They'll never leave.
Even Europeans, but I'm right-wing, so I'm honest enough to admit it. My nation's a shithole because the communists have been running it, so I came to America because it's free. And these dickheads go on the internet and put their faces on camera and say, death to America, I burn the flag, my country is much better. And then the second they put them on a plane and say, get your flip-flops, you're off back to Baghdad, knobhead. Then they go, oh, my life's ruined, don't throw me out of America. So they don't even believe their own bullshit. But that is a marvellous gift that the president's got, to bring it out of them, to bring the cockroaches out. You know, it's like turning the lights off.
I love it. I love it. He has the superpower. Oh, I've got a troll here. Hold on. So how you feeling about Donnie fleecing the taxpayers, skimming money to line his pockets with that sham no-bid contract on the reflecting pool? See, here we go. Hold on. This is how I deal with trolls here. This is how I deal with trolls. Here we go.
Educate me.
We flush the trolls here. We put them in a timeout and we flush the trolls right back to the other wrinkle necks that they need to be at. So here's the thing. It's like Elon Musk, trillionaire. Anyone that believes Elon Musk is trying to steal your Social Security is retarded.
Richest man in the world. He wants some old lady's check, does he? He's got $1 trillion and he wants to take some money off an old lady. Well, I'll give you some insider info there, right? I'm wearing my work shirt. You know, I work for the man. Elon works his ass off. Any lesser being who had that much money would be on a yacht, coke and hookers, right? People like Elon.
That's what I would be doing.
They're at work. They're at work. He lives in an Airstream. He doesn't even have a mansion. He lives in an Airstream on Starbase, and he works 15 hours a day. And these filthy communists criticize their betters. They've always criticized the betters. Marx did it. Lenin did it. The bitter, twisted losers who hate people like Trump and like Elon because they have billions of dollars and they wish they were them. And normal conservative people like us, because we're conservative, we drive our enjoyment from life from our friends and our family and our experiences. We're not obsessed with money. Every socialist shitbag is a cheapskate. We all know that. And that's why they hate Elon Musk. The man, again, God bless America for having a system that drags people like that from the shitholes they come from, because when World War III kicks off, we've got Starlink, we've got Star Shield. We'll win it because of
his other account. Daniel's back with his other account. Hold on, let me read it in the Daniel voice. I've got a Daniel voice. Let me see here. Wait, I'll read it in the Daniel voice. Oh boy, Ben is one sad little garden gnome. Sensitive about truth, are you? Musk doesn't work. He grifts. He steals other people's ideas and passes them off of his own. But hey, keep sucking up. Daniel, here's the problem that your life is. Daniel, tell me how many poor people have ever given you a job. Have you ever gotten a job from a poor person? I've never gotten a paycheck from a poor person, right? Daniel's a loser. Your mom should go make you. Oh, I think I've got a clip here of Daniel. Oh, yeah. Daniel sent a video clip of himself.
Oh, my God! I cannot do this anymore! I'm so sick of it! I am sick of the bullshit! Get out of my face!
Just get out of his face to the cell phone that he's holding in his face. Way to go, Daniel.
You can't even tell people like Daniel to go and F themselves, because there's no way a soy boy can get an erection. They are flaccid 24/7. The lack of testosterone. It'd be like thumbing in a piece of rope, wouldn't it, if he was trying to shag anyone? These people are embarrassing.
Daniel. The only other version of Daniel is this.
This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours.
One of them is Daniel, or somewhere in between.
Have you noticed that they've always got a septum piercing? They always, is that like instant mental illness? You've got a nose ring. It's so weird.
Tragus, something along those lines. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. And because I was in the UK from about 2000 to 2005. I was there during 9/11. I was in London, North London, Uxbridge, RAF Northolt, and then I was at the embassy, and then I was down in Cornwall that was the best. Like, that was fantastic. But the UK has changed so much since then, because I mean, even when I was there, it was hard to find an English person. Like, if you were around Ealing Broadway, if you were in Sydenham, if you were down
London.
Yeah.
It's not.
It was so hard to find a British person. But now I believe it's worse. And then I've been reading this book by Gad Saad. It's called Suicidal Empathy. I highly recommend it. And I think part of the downfall of the UK is the way that they have fallen at the empathetic altar for criminals. They'll arrest you for posting a meme on Facebook, but they won't arrest you because the meme on Facebook was because your daughter had something bad done to her by the person that you're posting the meme about. You know, you've offended the criminal. I think that's where Trump stopped it. He made it okay for people to say, F you. This is enough. We've had enough of your bullshit. And I don't know if the UK ever gets that. I don't know if they ever get that opportunity. Rupert Lowe has no chance.
No, none. Kind of like Steve Hilton in California. I
don't think Hilton has a chance either.
No, the cheat them out. The cheat out here, definitely. The problem is, right, Washington said it right, didn't he? You know, you've got to water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants. You've got to, your freedom's only one generation away from being taken from you. You've got to be vigilant. But what I always tell the Americans who are a little bit sort of like, because we've got Trump in charge, we're fortunate enough to have a Republican conservative president. But the second he goes out of office,
oh God,
the money printer starts again. the LGBTQ plus a GIMP parade starts walking past the elementary school again. The drugs come in. The 20 million illegals come in. We shouldn't be too complacent over here because you've got to constantly fight these people. Their ideology is cancer. It's pervasive. And it guts your nation from the inside out. And the real trouble with the UK is the Europeans as a whole are in real trouble because they've always been more liberal than the Americans. You know, Obama, even he was called sort of centre-right by people in Europe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
right?
Crazy. So the Americans are in a better spot. But like I said, if Vance doesn't win the next presidential election, we'll be right back in the shit. You're only ever one presidential election away from following the Euro trash down the sink. It's terrible. But I honestly think the UK is done. I think it's got to the point where you won't get it fixed by democratic means. I do think it'll get fixed because I tell this to everybody. The Irish are the same. The Irish, the British, the Scots, all their nations are being destroyed. Ireland's speedrunning this project. Even Ireland was not like this 15 years ago. Now, you walk down a street in Dublin, you're more likely to see a hijabi or a Zulu warlord with a bone through his lip than you are a bloke with a flat cap on drinking a pint of Guinness. It's ludicrous how bad it's got. So I think those countries are only going to get fixed when it gets so bad that you have mass civil unrest and then they get it fixed the old-fashioned way. I don't see them doing it democratically.
One thing that pissed me off, and I go back to this empathy, the altar of empathy. Scotland is the whitest by population, by actual population. Scotland is the whitest nation in the world. In the world. Whitest nation in the world. What did they do? They felt so empathetic that they elected all of these MPs that are from Shitholistan or wherever they're from.
Yeah, it's not now. This is how fast they do it. They elected the Scottish Prime Minister, Hamza Yousaf, Pakistani Scotsman, and now Scotland's about 15% ethnic minority. They're speedrunning it as well. So this is what I'm saying. But the only silver lining I can give anyone who's an Anglophone is that it will get fixed because when it kicks off and they're starting to fight about it, then they'll win. Because people like the Scots, the Irish, the English, especially the Northerners, these people like fighting. That's where American stuff comes from. The Scots-Irish.
When I lived in the UK, I had a really good friend. He was from Stoke, and he was rough as a bear's ass. But being a sailor, I used to love bar fights. I loved bar fights. And whenever I got to hang around with all these Royal Marines, they loved bar fights out at Chicksands. I can't remember the name of the pub.
I spent time there.
Yeah,
Chicksands.
it was rough as shit. And there was always a good punch up. But the next day, hey lads, here's a round on me. You know, it was amazing. But whenever I went up to Stoke and we went to all these clubs or nightclubs, whatever you want to call them, we went to Leeds, Newcastle, Stoke-upon-Trent, Stratford-upon-Avon. It was amazing because nobody had a problem with like, okay, let's fight. Like it just kicked off. It just literally kicked
It's
off
a lot more
the next
common.
day. Everything. Yeah, yeah. It was
You're
amazing.
not going to get shot as well, are you? Like, that's why I think a pub fight's different from what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a lot more fisticuffs across the pond. And that's what I mean. These people are rough. When it kicks off, they'll win. But when it comes to a political solution, I don't see them getting it. I think the Americans should look furtively across the pond and say, thank God that we've got a Republican president. It was getting bad under Biden. I mean, look how many have deported and self-deported. What's the best estimate Biden let in? 20 million illegals?
I think my chat will say 50. Chat, 50. How many illegals do you think came in?
You can't believe the official numbers, can you? You can't. They just lie.
You can't agree with or you can't believe the official numbers. That's 1,000% true. Let's just say 25 million for shits and giggles, right? Let's just see. Somebody said 25 million. And they're all coming from places that love us. You know, they all love us.
So we're on the precipice. You know what I mean? It only takes 2 terms together, and you're in trouble. Those 25 million would have got the right to vote under Kamala Camel Toe Harris, and we'd be in trouble because then you'd never ever win and you'd never get a Republican president ever again. This is what's happening in Europe.
Let me ask you this, and this question's for you as well as the chat. Let's say the number is 40 million. Out of the 40 million, how many are women and children? Or how many are fighting-aged men? Right? That's the part that scares me.
It is. It's mental. It's you look at the demographics in Europe. It's crazy. Like the boats that come in illegally, they are 98% fighting age men. So there's nothing you can do about. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no way that even if you were vetting them quite well, if 98% of them are fighting age men, at least 20% of them are going to cause you trouble, aren't they? I've said that before. I wouldn't if they wanted to send 10 million 16 to 30-year-old men to England from Scotland, the English government had said, no, you're all right, keep them. You know, young men are the most high testosterone, low self-control. We know what we were like when we were 18. Young men are a pain up the ass. I can't believe anybody thinks it's a good idea to let tens of millions of them in.
I'm pushing back on this comment. I have questions said 33% were women and children. I'm going to say, you are full of shit. There is no way 33% are women and children.
Nah,
no
I can't
way
see it.
I would say less than 5% are women and children. Less than 5%.
Just look at the images. If you go onto the news and just look at the images, again, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. I don't care what the news tells me. Trust your own eyes and your own ears. And whenever I watch footage collected by the people, because this is where the MSM and the boomer politicians are behind the times, we don't need them anymore. We don't need them anymore. I told you my favourite story about Biden when he did that performative. He was such a prick, Joe Biden. That performative fake anger because he's a bad liar. He used to pretend to be angry and he thinks, oh, that'll sell the lie. And he goes to Texas and he brings Beto O'Rourke out and he says, yeah, we're going to take your guns and this guy's going to help me. And then the next day he flies to the Rust Belt, gets stopped by a load of metal workers in Detroit or what have you, and then one of them says, hey, didn't you say you were going to take our guns? And he goes, you're a damn liar. He does his fake outrage. You're a damn liar. And the guy goes, oh yeah, and he gets his phone out and it's him
and plays
the day before. And he goes, oh, and he just shits himself and runs away as fast as he can. They're behind the times. We've all seen TikTok. We've seen the citizen journalists like yourself are taking over. And now we go on TikTok, we go on Twitter, we go on Facebook, and we see the videos, and we see 999 hairy-ass men for every 1,000 people coming over. So don't tell me it's 33.
Absolutely. Somebody said, Chucky said the quiet part out loud, 25 million. Chuck Schumer said that if we passed the SAVE Act, 25 million people wouldn't be able to vote. He said he gave the number away.
He gave you the number, yeah. They know.
And I think all of this Ukraine shit has been a total distraction. It has been a total distraction. The
100%.
Ukraine stuff, 100% total distraction. And I think a lot of what's happening in Iran with the World Economic Forum, I think a lot of that is a total distraction. It is a way so that we focus our efforts over there rather than here. That's what I think. That's really what I believe, you know.
Well, what worries me about that is it does suggest that the global homos are running the show with this stuff, because they've been wanting to get that done for 20 years, haven't they? Same with Ukraine, same with Iran. All the big conflicts we get dragged into now, they're what they're talking about in Davos. Like, they've been whinging about both of those parties for decades. And that's what worries me. I mean, I've been defending Trump to the hilt. I think that at the end of the day, there's only so much the guy whose face you see can actually do. I think that you can get a lot done as the president of the United States, but I think even there's limits to what they can achieve, because there's people behind the scenes whose faces you never see. And when it comes to the big decisions, like a war with Iran or something, I don't think that's the president's not the be-all and end-all with those decisions, because I don't believe Trump would want that conflict if it was entirely down to him. Why would he? He's a businessman. Wars cost money.
You'll know the answer to this, or you'll know more of the answer to this. So I did this video this morning about Keir Starmer resigning. Someone in the actually, it was multiple people in the comments that said, Keir Starmer's not really in charge of Britain. He's working for somebody else. Who is the other person? Because I asked and they didn't reply. Like, who is the other person that he's working for? Is it George Soros? Is he in charge of the UK? I don't
Klaus.
know.
It's Klaus and the boys in Davos, isn't it?
Oh,
and the thing is,
yeah.
Keir Starmer told us this. If you pay attention, you know, I'm a big political junkie. About 5 years ago, when he was in opposition, they said to Keir Starmer, do you prefer Parliament or do you prefer Davos? And Starmer said, Davos, unquestionably. You get more done in Davos. It's more productive. They go to Davos. Again, this is the most hilarious thing about this stuff is, right, if you pay attention, they tell you. And then because they're not very clever, they let the mask slip. You just said about Chucky Schumer telling us the number. They let the mask slip, and only when the public freak out about it because they can't read the public because they're stupid, then they deny it, and then they say it's a conspiracy theory. Klaus Schwab, that humorless Teutonic prick, went on TV and he had a speech called The Great Reset, and he released a book called The Great Reset. You can still buy it on Amazon. And he said, the COVID pandemic will allow the Great Reset. You will not own anything and you will be happy. And then all the people went,
yeah,
that sounds shit. And then they went, okay, it's a conspiracy theory then. The book's still on Amazon. So they told us, Starmer told us who he works for. They work for everyone in Davos. That's who they work for.
Here's what bothers me, man. And actually, it doesn't bother me anymore because I recognize it. The Democrat Party always tells you what they're going to do. And we kind of just like play it off. These Davos idiots, they always tell you what they're going to do. And we just like, oh, they'll never try that. But they have.
Yeah.
They have tried it. They have done it, you know?
Yeah.
And they always tell us what they're going to do.
Always. Look at the Kung Flu. Donald said it's from a lab in Wuhan, and everyone said, that's a conspiracy theory. The same day, you'll know all this because you pay attention, the same day that little meatball-headed poison dwarf, that fucking ratbag Fauci, the same day he was on TV going, it's all bullshit, I know the science, what do you know, Rand Paul? He went off the podium and then he's emailing a guy, we saw this from WikiLeaks, going, oh shit, they know. Like, this is the dates and timestamps on the emails that he sent. He called Rand Paul a liar, and then an hour later he was emailing them all going, oh shit, get rid of the drugs, burn the lab down. It's crazy. So they're not, conspiracy theories are all true, aren't they, these days? They definitely are.
The video that Tulsi Gabbard released a couple of days ago, this 5-minute video detailing everything, it's got 81 million views on X right now. It has more views than Biden has votes. Wow. It has more. So think about that. I'm about to drop my dog off at a Korean restaurant. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to.
Well, you don't have to kill them first. The rooftop Koreans will take care of that. Yeah, it's mad. It's a mad state of affairs, isn't it? It's crazy that I just can't believe that they think the public are as stupid as they were in the 1950s. And if it wasn't on if it was on the wireless or the newspaper, you believed it. And now we're not that daft. because we've got citizen journalists like your good self and people out on X, and that's where the truth is. I mean, that's what makes me think Steve Hilton's got no chance. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but if you believe that Joe Biden got more votes than anyone in the last 50 years, including the last presidential election, you're living in cloud cuckoo land. Where did they dig up 81 million people from? It's preposterous.
There's not that many people buried at Arlington.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to go and have they got the Ouija board out at Gettysburg to get that many names. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Robert E. Lee was one of his voters. Look at when they dropped off those garbage bags full of votes. It was a highly contested election. They dropped off 340,000 votes in the middle of the night. And then when they counted them, 338,000 were for Biden. I was like, are you people completely brain dead? When people say there's no evidence, anyone who understands anything about math and statistics, that number is the evidence. I don't need to see HD footage of a woman tiptoeing in. We saw the video of them dropping the bags off. But when there's 344,000 votes and 340,000 of them are for one candidate, that is cheating. That is statistically impossible. The lotto is unlikely. That is impossible. At best.
And it'll be halfway through it'll be into 2027 before California gets done counting votes.
Yeah,
literally.
The cheating, Ben. They are definitely cheating. If you understand basic statistics, I got my Green Beret, but I spent some time with military intelligence. I think I'm a bit of a clever bastard when it comes to this stuff. That is the evidence. If you picked the bluest city in the bluest state in a presidential election, and you counted 300,000 votes, the maximum you're going to get is about 81% of those votes being for the guy in blue. The fact that they dropped off nearly 500,000 votes and 99.9% of them were for one guy, the statistic is the proof. They cheated. They definitely cheated in 2020. As so often happens when the evil villain does machinations, it happened to have turned out better for us, because I do think that 4-year hiatus allowed Trump to really hit the ground running when he came in. And I think he's done a rock solid job, especially on immigration, the border, trying to sort the economy out and get people back to work. I think he's done a great job. But I think he only managed that because he had the 4 years out. I think if they hadn't have cheated in 2020, he would have been hamstrung for another 4 years. So it turned out for the best, really. But they still cheated. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. And on so many things, I was always like, man, I think Trump's right. But then I think he's just trolling people. And now it's like, the son of a bitch was right about everything. He was right about everything.
Right about the Wu flu. Listen, if he was right about everything, and he was right about the Wu flu, and he was right about Fauci and the labs and the dark money in Ukraine and Burisma and Hunter and everything, why is he wrong about them cheating the elections?
Why?
Why is he wrong all of a sudden?
What's your take on Iran? As a British citizen, British military veteran, what's your take on Iran?
That is a very difficult one, because being conservative in me old age, I don't like us to spend our taxpayers' money on wars that seem to be predominantly for the benefit of foreign countries. However, it is a tough one with Iran, because when I did 2 tours of Iraq and did the initial invasion, when we lost anyone, we were doing force protection on Route Irish in Baghdad, when that was like the most dangerous route, 3-mile strip of road on the planet. And every time there was an incident and we lost anyone, whether it was indirect fire attacks at Camp Victory or IEDs on Route Irish, 98% of that stuff was coming from munitions, training and support from Iran. So really, there's a few thousand dead American and British servicemen whose lives were ended by the Iranians. So while I'm reticent to get involved in needless foreign wars, I do kind of want to twat the Iranians because they deserve it. So it's a tough one.
I was with the Brits in Basra.
MND
I was
Southeast.
There in 2005 is whenever I was there.
Yeah.
And man, it was like you're saying, everything was funded by the Iranians. Everything's fun. And then they hit the coal. People forget about this year, June 30th is the 30-year anniversary of Khobar Towers, where they blew up the towers, Khobar Towers, and then the Marine barracks, and then we've got, the coal. They've been responsible for so much other stuff. So I'm like you, as much as I'd want to just turn the place into a glowing hot glass bowl, there are innocent people there. And I don't know what pisses me off the most. The can's been kicked down the road to Trump. It should have been taken care of 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And they all had no guts. I mean, think about the British. Margaret Thatcher's the only person that had any balls to do anything about the Argentinians, right?
Yeah. There's the irony. The only person who had balls in the last 40 years was a woman. Go figure that one out. That's how pussified the United Kingdom is.
The only president that we've ever had to have any guts is not a professional politician. He's a business guy that likes to troll the shit out of people on social media. He's a rich troll, and he's the best president we've had.
I know. Again, it just shows that the political class, again, because like I said earlier, the globalists won. Again, to repeat myself, if it's happening in Europe, it's happening here. The globalist sociopath rule the world now. Trump is like a bulwark against it, but the second he leaves office, we're in serious shit again. And it's just the way the world is now. The globalist sociopaths, it all comes from Davos. Why do you think the mainstream media is in total lockstep all across the entire Western world? Why do you think, I've made this point loads of times, you and I, right, we've got a lot in common, sort of related genetically, culturally, linguistically, heritage, everything. We'll disagree quite often if we go to the pub and have a chat. I'll disagree with my brother, my dad, I'll disagree with my best friend. But you get a little fat German politician, a closeted homosexual Canadian politician, a random Austrian guy, a Belgian, an Icelandic fella, a Kiwi, an Aussie. Every single one of them in the political class is in total agreement, in total lockstep on every policy, every day, and people think it's a conspiracy. How is that possible? If we'll disagree occasionally, how come a German, an Icelandic, and a Kiwi, and a Canadian are 100% in lockstep when they're all in politics? Because they're getting their orders from Davos. It's nothing to do with them.
They're getting their talking points from the same wherever. Yeah,
every policy. Total lockstep 100% of the time.
That's the scariest shit. Oh, God. I pet one dog and then the other one wants to come over. You shut up, you jealous dick.
You've just got to hope America will be the last bastion in the West. I guarantee it. We'll be the last to fall. We've got this massive country that's continent size. We've got 390 guns plus in private ownership, 90 million. We've got tons of advantages. So and we've got freedom of speech codified, First and Second Amendment. So the Americans will be the last bastion, and that's why I'm staying here. If it wasn't for the fact that pricks owe me a military pension, I'd set my British passport on fire and I'd eat it. I'd never go back there. I'm staying here where it's safe. God bless America. I've turned my coat.
I've got a friend of mine. He's an Australian Army vet, lives here in Arkansas. He got his American citizenship, but somehow or another, he still gets his pension or something like that from Australia. And I don't know how it all works, but whatever. But he says the same thing. He's like, you couldn't drag me back to Australia.
No way. No way, because this is the last holdout. I always say, Americans, sometimes, if you go to places where there's a bit of Anglophobia, in sort of like New England, Boston, you get a few of the plastic paddies, don't really understand the politics, and they have a go. And one of them said to me when I was in Boston, don't the Brits get a bit salty about, the revolution? And I was like, no, there's two reasons for that. The first is they were predominantly fighting Napoleon. When America was founded, all of our great war stories were coming from Napoleonic Wars. And I was like, and the second reason is nobody wants to pay the taxes. I was like, nobody does. We understand it entirely. If I was over here in 1775, not only would I have definitely turned my coat, I'd have been on my hands and knees licking George Washington's ball sack. So, like, of course we're not salty about it.
That's exactly right. Hey, how can people find your channel if they want to listen to your miserable shit? How do they find you?
My miserable, my accent's a bit strong for most Americans. There might be a bit I'll tell you what, you can put the subtitles on, you know, like on Train Spotting. When Train Spotting came out in America, all the Americans were like, what the hell's this guy saying? Yeah, you can watch my channel here. I'll put a link in the chat, or just type in Angry Bootneck, because a bootneck
You know, it took me a while. Because whenever I moved to the UK, I'm a redneck from Lower Alabama. Whenever I got there, I was like, whenever I got to pick where I was going, I had two choices. I was either going to go work at the embassy in Kenya or London. And I was like, I'm going to England. I speak the same language. When I got there, I was like, holy shit, I don't speak the same language. And I was the typical Yank. I had a Harley Davidson and I had a Jeep that was shipped over. So I'm driving through central London on a Jeep on some days, and then I'm riding through central London on other days on a Harley Davidson. It was, but as a single guy, I was single at the time.
Yeah.
More ass in a toilet seat.
Yeah,
I'll tell
boozing, partying. Yeah, it'd been great.
Oh, it was. I went to some parties. I went to a party, like a lock-in at, who was the guy? Boy George had this club.
Yeah.
It was like the Hippo Dome or something. I've still got so many friends. What was Natalie Imbruglia?
Oh yeah, she was hot.
She was beautiful.
I loved her back in the day. Yeah, great times.
My next door neighbor, his son played for Tottenham Hotspur. His name was Anthony Gardner. This 6'5" black guy that played like center half or whatever. And he introduced me to them, and they were like, "You're a cool American." I was like, "Okay." And they took me to all kinds of shit, man. It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing to go to some of this stuff.
That's what I'm saying, because we get on. You know, we're related, and it's obvious. It's why culturally we fit in, and that's why Aussies, Kiwis, Canadians, and Brits are fleeing to the United States, because it's going to be the last holdout. I'm telling you, it's going to be us against the forces of darkness in about 10 years' time, when Klaus Schwab and the Globo homos are storming the borders, coming down from the frozen north.
I always just had so much fun over there, and a lot of my British friends did, because I would talk us into wherever. I could blab our way in anywhere. If there was a party, a club, an event, they would be like, "Ben, go get us in." And I would just go over and talk shit to people until we got in. It was
you
great.
get away with a lot when you're a foreigner, don't you?
It was amazing. The best story. This is the best story. I don't want to do too much story time. This is the best. So they filmed the Tomorrow Never Dies movie. Halle Berry, Pierce Brosnan. They filmed that at Pinewood Studios. A bunch of us from the embassy got to be extras in the movie. You can see about this much of my face, maybe this much, right? But anyway, they took us out to lunch. We went out to Pinewood Studios for a day. We stood there in our uniforms, blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, me and my girlfriend at the time, she was from Hammersmith, right? She was
proper Cockney.
Cockney English girl, right? Me, her, a couple of my friends, we rode our Harley Davidsons, 2 Scousers actually, and a guy from Wrexham. I've got a Wrexham football shirt in here somewhere. We rode our Harley Davidsons from London to Saint-Tropez, south of France. There was a motorcycle rally, Harley Davidson rally. We're sitting at this little cafe right on the Med where all the yachts and everything are. And I'm sitting there having some lunch, drinking rosé by the gallon, right? And I look over across the table, and there's Pierce Brosnan, what looked like his wife and children. And my girlfriend, I was like, "I know him." And she's like, yeah, sure you do. And I look at my buddies, and I was like, "No, seriously, I know that guy. I'm not like, I know he's James Bond, but I know him. We have talked." They were like, yeah, sure. I was like, "Okay, I'll be right back." I get up, I walk across the restaurant. I walk over. I was like, "Hey, Mr. Brosnan, I don't know if you remember me or not. I was an extra in one of your films." He's like, "Yeah, I remember you." I was like, "Oh, great." I was like, can you do me a favor? He's like, anything. He's like, have a seat. So I said, I have a seat. My girlfriend and them are about 6 tables over. I'm sitting there talking to him. I was like, look, my girlfriend doesn't believe me that I know you. My friends don't believe me that I know you. He looks at me. He's like, I got you. He just said that. He's like, I got you. I was like, okay. So I get back up. I go back over and sit down at the table. My girlfriend's just giving it this, right? My friends just, yeah, you wanker, you know, you're a liar, you know, all this other shit, right? You're full of bollocks, blah, blah, blah. You toss it. They're just all the shit. Pierce Brosnan and his wife and kids get up about 10 minutes later. They come walking by. They come to our table. He looks over. He's like, Ben, what are you doing tonight? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you see my yacht right there? 7 o'clock, we're having a big party. I want you to come. And if you want, bring your girlfriend. I looked at him. I was like, what girlfriend? And he just walked off. And she looks at me, gives me a slap. I went to the party that night down on the boat. My friends were pissed. The girlfriend was pissed because I didn't take them with them. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every second
nice fella.
of it, you know?
I reckon he's a nice fella, Pierce Brosnan. I haven't got any cool famous people stories except one. I was at a winery in California and Kevin Costner was there. He's a regular in a big one out here. It's about an hour up the road. And I was there. SpaceX had their Christmas party there. And I goes over to him. Fine Cornish ale, that tribute.
Brilliant.
And I goes over and said, oh, Kevin, I said, your English accent in Robin Hood was fucking terrible. And he went, I don't think I did an English accent. I was like, I know, that's the problem. It was shit. Because he's like, none of them tried in that movie, did they? It was quite a good film. Alan Rickman was amazing as the Sheriff of Nottingham. But Kevin Costner and Christian Slater they just sounded like Texans in Sherwood Forest. I was like, you could have faked it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But that's about it. I haven't met any.
In the UK. My girlfriend, that same girlfriend, her brother had like a gardening business. And we went out the night before and just got blattered at JD Weatherspoons like everybody else.
Everyone loves spoons.
Yeah. Next day, he's like, hey, I got to go pick up some equipment that he left out at this house. He's like, you want to go? I was like, you buy breakfast? I'll go. It was out in Windsor. So we get in his van because everybody's got a freaking van. We go out there and we go up this long driveway, this long driveway. As you go up the gate, there's this like a gazebo with a skeleton at a drum set. And I'm like, I'm looking at John. I'm like, John, who is this? He's like, I don't know, some old rocker. And I was like, what? So we get up to the house and he's loading up tools. And I just start wandering around the garage and shit.
Looking at shit.
Yeah, just looking at shit. Rolls Royce, Ferraris. I'm like, what? And my girlfriend's brother didn't even know who he was. This old dude comes out. He looks homeless. He comes out in slippers and a bunch of these little like shit kapoo dogs, like these little like nappy shit kapoo dogs. They walk out. He walks out. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I was just looking at your cars. He's like, he looks at me. He's like, you're a bloody Yank. I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm just here helping him get some tools or something like that. He's like, no, what are you doing here in my country? I was like, I work at the embassy and all this other stuff. He's like, you want a cup of tea? I was like, yeah, all right. I still don't know who the guy is, right? Still don't know. He just looks homeless. We walk inside. When we walk inside, there must have been 25 gold and platinum albums. There were Andy Warhol original paintings. There was a big picture of him and John Lennon. And I look at him and I was like, you're fucking Jimmy Page, aren't you? And he looks at me. He's like, yeah. And that was it. I was like, holy shit. I'm at Jimmy Page's house and he's making me a cup of tea. It was amazing.
You're a wee bit older than me because I wouldn't recognize Jimmy Page if he walked past me. Yeah,
it was great. We sat there and we had a cup of tea, showed me around his house, showed me a bunch of guitars, and like let me hold one of his guitars. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, he gave me an autograph. I've got an autograph around here somewhere. I had a great time over there. I had a Ducati 996 motorcycle at the time. And I
remember them. Everyone wanted one of them bad boys.
I went to the Isle of Man and Foggy signed the tank. I've got it in the garage. I sold the bike. I kept the
for
tank.
the TT. Nice one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done much more interesting shit than me. I guess at the time it was the world was a better place in the 90s, wasn't it? People were a lot more friendly and sort of open and engaging because we still had this sense of community. And that's why I'm a nationalist now. People would talk. We are old enough to remember what the 80s and the 90s were like. And I tell this to everyone. The only reason they've managed to get these kids to be woke and left-wing is because they've lied to them constantly about history. That anyone that can remember the 1980s and the 1990s in the UK and all of Europe, even France was less of a shithole in the 1990s. Anyone who can remember the 80s and the 90s in Europe is right-wing. There's more things, there's more important things in life than money. You know, and that's what we need to bring back. And at least the Americans still remember it. The Americans know that the 80s and the 90s was a time when you had a sense of community. You didn't have to worry about getting robbed all the time.
You'll love this. I got a whole, this is my trip to Saint-Tropez with my, let me see. Yeah. There's my Saint-Tropez trip. 2001. That was pre 9/11. When we got back, 9/11 happened. That's when 9/11 happened.
It's when the world changed. I think I'd had my Green Beret 6 months when 9/11 happened. And then I went, I guess we're going to war then. And sure enough, it was balls to the wall for the next decade, wasn't it, after that?
Oh, it was crazy. Here you go. There we go. There was me on my way. That's in Saint-Tropez right there. That's
nice.
Yeah.
With your pasty English girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pasty Cockney girlfriend and a bunch of other scousers, right? But yeah, that Harley Davidson rally, it was a hog rally, Saint-Tropez. I'm looking at 17. So here's how close it was to 9/11. May of 2001. So those son of a bitches were planning that. They were planning that.
4 months, wasn't it?
Here's my armband and my tickets to the rally. Yeah. May of 2001. So
Good
4
times.
months. Yeah.
Right, I've got to go because I told my wife I'd take her to the gym at 6:30. And I've had enough of seeing your holiday snaps, Grandpa.
Yeah. You know, that is crazy. 25 years ago, I was on a fucking Harley Davidson because so we got back from the girlfriend and one of the other guys. We took them they got a train from Marseille to Paris and went back to the UK. Me and one other guy named Daniel, we went to St. Petersburg, Russia. We rode all the way to Russia on our Harleys.
Wow. Easier than Napoleon's lot doing it on a Ducati.
Yeah, no shit, right? No shit. Buddy, you get out of here. I'll holler at you later. You take it easy.
Thanks for having me, Ben. I'll see you soon, mate.
See you dirty wanker. Go eat some oranges so you don't get Lyme disease or whatever the hell it is. Scurvy. There you go. So that is the angry bootneck. Lives out in not Colorado. He's probably as hippie as a Colorado. He lives in California. Sorry to get into the story time stuff, but you know, reminiscing about the good times damn sure makes a difference. It damn sure makes a difference. Reminiscing about the good times is always fun. And I don't know if anybody gets upset by me doing that, but what do you got? Let's see. Wow, we're learning so much about Ben, and there he is, loosened up a little. Trini, join the channel as a member. I share all kinds of crap on there. Join the channel as a member. You get access to a Discord server. I share all kinds of crap like that. Let's see, Lyme disease. I forget what it was. I think it's called scurvy, right? Scurvy, I think is what it actually is. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's see here. Let's try this. Let's grab a couple of these real quick. Hold on. Let's do that. Yep. Okay. We'll grab a couple of calls. We'll grab a couple of calls here. 615-475-7864. Feel free, call in. Love to hear from you. Love to talk to you. Don't really want to argue with anybody, but feel free. So that being said, there you go. Lines are open. Feel free. I've had a great life, man. If it left tomorrow, I'd be upset, but there you go. You know, I've enjoyed the hell of it. And I tried to take a hell of a lot of photos so I can see some of that stuff. Callers, turn down the audio. Exactly. That's all I ask. You turn down the audio, join the channel as a member, and you're making us all happy. Join over on Patreon. I'm going to try to get the Patreon growing because I don't trust YouTube very much. Here, I'll put a link to the Patreon right there. There we go. And all my West, thought you couldn't get a pardon for treason. I hope you can't. Let's see here. I've never been arrested in the United States. So there you go. You figured out the rest of that story. So there you go. And if nobody wants to call in, that's fine. I'm going to get off of here then. I can probably go watch some wrestling documentaries, which is what I've been obsessed with lately. Okay, guys, it doesn't look like anybody wants to call in. Nobody wants to talk to me. You probably got tired of listening to me talk. So that's okay. I'm not offended by anything. Let me see. I think I had a couple more things I was going to show. Maybe not. I don't even know if I do or not. Let's see. How about let's do this. And make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. Let's grab this one call real quick. Who do we got? We got a 619 area code. That's down in San Diego. What do you got?
Hey, Ben, this is Arthur Unwin. Best show ever, buddy. Love your show.
Arthur, thank you for calling, man. Long time no chat. How's things going with you?
It was a rough Father's Day. Dad passed away, as some of you might know. But, yeah, we miss Dad. But
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Love you guys in the chat. And America Strong.
America Strong. Yeah, we can't get bogged down by the doomers and the black pillars and all the negativity. And there's a lot of people that want us to do that. And I can't do it. And I think I take some of the comments from those shitheads personal in the chat. But I think what I need to learn is they're just stupid. And if you argue with an idiot, they're going to drag you to their level and beat you with years of experience. That's what I think, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I got one more thing for you, Ben.
Sure, go for it. Whatever.
I saw you. First time I saw you, it was Dylan Mulvaney in a bathtub drinking beer.
Oh, I know that video. Yeah. YouTube didn't like that video, me making fun of that kid. They didn't like that.
Suck it, YouTube.
Exactly.
Take care, guys.
Arthur, God bless you. Take care. There you go. So there's Arthur. Arthur Unwin. He's been hanging in like a hair in a biscuit in the chat for a long time. Usually stay quiet. I'm always here and loving my Dykes family. God bless you. Thank you, Sin. I think I sent a Bible to Sin or for her husband. I can't remember. That's the one thing that I do with a lot of the super chats and memberships. I send guitars to some veterans. I send some Bibles to members. And if you can help me with the postage on some of those, that's exactly what really helps a lot. So if you can do that, I really appreciate it. If you can't, I completely understand. Don't feel obligated, but it's always nice to feel like what I'm doing is what do you call it? Appreciated. I'm running out of words here. With that being said, I think it's time to rig 'em for dive, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to run silent. G-Dub hat. Where's the Compton hat? It's in the closet with my weed. No, I don't have any weed, but it's up in the closet up there. I'll tell you what, next show I'll wear that. Let's see, you're watching on YouTube from Ohio. Gas is $3.70s. Bubbleheads forever. No more BS. With that being said, I think we've got to get out of here. We're going to run silent, run deep, and dive. Make your depth 300 feet. Dive, make your depth 300 feet. Aye, sir. Here we go.
Chief of the Watch on the 1MC, pass the word. Dive, sound 2 blasts of dive alarm, pass the word, dive.
Dive. Dive, dive.
Here we go again. Same old song again. Marching down the avenue. We don't know we'll be through. Rally.
radio. Heard it on the radio. Sounds so good to me. Sounds so good to me. U.S. Navy submarine. U.S. Navy submarine. Recruiter just inside here. Recruiter just inside here. Turns out I gave them 5 years. Turns out I gave them 5 years. Had to get out of boot camp. Had to get out of boot camp. They won't light the smoking lamp. They won't light the smoking lamp. Now I'm a submariner. Now I'm a submariner. Rolling in the deep, sir. Rolling in the deep, sir. Top secret mission, hush, hush. Secret mission, hush, hush. No one's gonna find us. No one's gonna find us. 6 months below the ocean. 6 months below the ocean. I can't remember the sun. I can't remember the sun. Can't write my wife no letters. Can't write my wife no letters. And Tony's gonna get her. Tony's gonna get her. But I won't trade this life away. I won't trade this life away. Makes it worth the Navy pay. Makes it worth the Navy pay. If I can't be a bobblehead. I can't be a bobblehead. Might as well just be dead. Might as well just be dead. Long, long time ago. Long, long time ago. Heard it on the radio. Heard it on the radio. Sounds so good to me. Sounds so good to me. U.S. Navy submarine. U.S. Navy submarine. Live, fly, live, fly. Fly, live, fly, live, fly, live, fly, live. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Carlson. I've been to Carlson. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Korea. I've been to Korea. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Vietnam. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Desert Storm. I've been to Desert Storm. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Afghanistan. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been to Iraq and back. I've been to Iraq and back. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor. Where will you be? Where will you be? I'll be where I have to be. I'll be where I have to be. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for liberty. Fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Live, fly, live, free. Fly, live, free. Live, fly, live, fly, live.
Okay, guys, gals, girls, this is Ben Dyke Show. Smash a like and subscribe on your way out the door. See you in the next one. Ben Dyke Show is out.
We could do boom shakalaka. We love the boom shakalaka, you know. Nobody booms and shakalakas as much as I do. I do it better than anybody. I invented it, believe it or not. A lot of people don't realize it.
Rock on, salute, God bless you. Bubbleheads forever.